Hi, everyone. It's Wednesday, March 24th, 2021, and this was day 27. Today I taught ESL 5, and I really love this class. The students are amazing, and it's just fun to be with them. We didn't get everything accomplished that I wanted to get accomplished, but we'll try to get there um, later next week, or next week actually we only have one class. But what we did for the first hour, I was a little hot under the collar because there was this noise problem with Zoom, and it's not the students' noise; it's the fact that there's an electronic buzz from one or more of the students' speakers, so it comes online, and people are annoyed by it, and I get annoyed by it, but we tried to fix it today, and it felt like it was minimized to a certain extent. So that was good. The rest of my class, so what we did was we started out doing drills, like real grammar drills about use of articles, which are a late acquisition in learning. Late acquisition means that you're not supposed to learn them right away, that you learn them through time and practice and through custom. And so we did a lot of that, and they really knew a lot. I was very impressed by that. And then we went on from there into pronouns, and they also knew a lot about that. So I didn't do so much teaching as I did talking and doing drills with them. And I would, yesterday I had like kind of an odd evening, and I'll explain that in a minute. But as a reaction to like kind of like my own insecurity, I decided I would just kind of like stay on this straight path and try to get them to like really, respond to what I wanted them to do. And it worked out fine, and it was good. Then after the break, one of the students had called me and told me how we could suppress the noise, and we tried that after the break. But I spent a little time going over punctuation with them, which is always like kind of a minefield because while the basic information about periods and question marks and are and commas are not that difficult, when you get into semicolons and colons, it gets a little trickier. And while I enjoy doing it with the students, I was very impressed that they knew so much, and that was really good. I think the biggest question was, do you put a short story name in the quotation marks, or do you italicize it, or do you underline it? So we went through all of those rules, and my basic point about them is you should know the basic points that you can, and then if you don't know, you should look it up. So what you really need to do is be able to look up things quickly and efficiently so that if you need to find out something, you know where to go and how to incorporate that into your work. And that was good. And then we went to talk about Amy in the book, The War Between the Classes. And, whatever hesitancy I had about the book, within a couple of minutes, we were totally into it and discussing it and making it relevant to our own lives. And that was always an exciting moment in our lives. So, the typical lull in the classroom wasn't really there. As a matter of fact, I kept them late. And the reason I did was because I wanted to bring up one of my favorite assignments, which is when I asked them, are you a rebel or are you a person that obeys the rules? And, that's interesting because I have always been a rebel and I'm continuing to be a rebel. And sometimes it's great and sometimes it sucks for me, but, and for others for sure. But the reality is that, it's a necessary question because in the book, Amy, who does have a rebellious streak right from the beginning, becomes more rebellious with time, and it's really interesting how that works out. So I just thought I would mention that. The other thing is that last night I had gotten a call from one of my students, and I had said that we're discussing the topic in order to like not write about it, but to actually just see how to cluster ideas together about what we would do when this quarantine, this lockdown ends. And one thing that people had mentioned and I mentioned was the idea that I'd never wear masks again. And I don't know what I said or how I said it, but one of my students like took it to mean that I was anti-Asian because they were wearing masks before there was even ever a quarantine. And so she called me and she said, I was really hurt or it was hard. I don't know what she was saying, hurt or hard, but whatever it was, hurt and hard are probably the same thing ultimately. That means that, hearing words about how I would never wear a mask again was somehow hurtful to Asian people. And, I sat there and I was stood there talking to her, although it was on the phone, very apologetically and trying to say, look, I'm really sorry I didn't intend to say anything. It was, you know, sort of the Governor Cuomo defense, I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I didn't know what I was doing either, and I really mean it. But the reality was, I realized that that's not an excuse that I have to be sensitive to. But of course, it sent me in a different direction, which was I was thinking, why do I need this crap? One thing I don't like about teaching is you can get called on the carpet, which, happens a couple times in life, for things that you say that you intend in one way and they're taken in another way. And, and when that happens, it just makes me feel as if, why am I bothering? This is a pain in the neck. It's too much work, etc. But I didn't want to hold on to that too tightly because in reality, a teacher is in charge and I have to be thoughtful about them. And there was no reason to even bring up the mask issue. I just kind of fell into it. And I certainly didn't aim it at her or at any Chinese or anything like that. Who cares? We're all in this together. It's sad what has happened. Part of me is like also like saying, this is just the law of survival. This is what happens. You get a winnowing out of people. And I don't mean it should happen. I'm just saying it happens. It's a natural event that happens, and we've had enough plagues to realize that this is what happens. Anyway, it's interesting from that perspective that, and maybe I was taking it out on my students at the beginning, but by the end, everything was very good and that was fun. Okay, thank you, and talk to you next time.